Rimuru the Violet Primordial. A Legend Reborn, by NoruSensei. Side Story 1. Their meeting and deal Velzard Pav. It has been few months since Nisan's death along with Lucia in the hands of those foolish humans Nisama loves. At first, I thought of not accepting that human girl, but soon I slowly opened up to her. That redhead demon had told me that there was actually someone more stronger than him. Soon after, that got me interested. Then I started asking him questions. Flashback. I was doing my business in the newly conquered lands by that redhead demon. It was just a day after we fought each other. Surprisingly, he is equal to my strength. It's quite impressive for a primordial demon to be in equal footing with a true dragon as me, but not strong as my Nisama. That's what I believe until now, but Nisama himself said something few years ago of a certain someone whom he calls as the Supreme One. He told me from the very start that this Supreme One created all of the Omniverse along with him sometime gaining consciousness. Weirdly enough, Nisama said that Supreme One didn't even contact him nor do anything to make its presence known. But Nisama was sure that the Supreme One is present as he feels the magicules endlessly. I thought of it as a fairy tale for me to sleep whenever I requested Nisama to tell me a story. But then, that few years ago Nisan had told me just before he appointed the redhead demon as the mediator of the cardinal world. Velzard. Nisama called me. Hi, Nisama. I asked as I went to him. Remember few centuries ago that I have told you the story of the Supreme One? He asks me in his serious tone of voice. Hi, Nisama. Why? I asked curiously. I feel the Supreme One's presence back in the underworld. It feels different, but I could still feel the same magicules from it, Nisama said. What do you mean? I didn't understand what Nisama had just said. Listen, Velzard. Whatever you do, when you have luckily meet the Supreme One, don't do anything that it will make that being uncomfortable. No matter what race the Supreme One may be right now, I'm sure of it, that being is far stronger than I am, said Nisama seriously. What are you saying, Nisama? I've already aged. I won't believe you in that fairy tale-like story and warning. We are the true dragons. A proud race that stands as the highest of them all, Nisama. You created the cardinal world. There is no way anyone would be stronger than you, I said to Nisama. I see, you were too young to remember the Supreme One after all. When you were still younger, you were sleeping that time, so I don't blame you. But the Supreme One is watching you the whole time. How can I say this? For the first time in a while she decided to make her appearance to me after all. I'm no fool to dare question her, I feel it. That magicules I feel when I first gained consciousness, it was faint but it was there. You may not believe me now, Velzard, but don't make a foolish move to dare fight against her. By now some of the primordial demons now know her strength and superiority. But they don't know yet that she is the very Supreme One, said Nisama. Then after that conversation of ours, another centuries went by. The Red Primordial had Nisama's acknowledgement and was appointed as the mediator of the cardinal world. Then after few years, I challenged him. After that the redhead said something to me. Velzard, let me give you a warning. I'm not the strongest among the primordial demons. He said without any pride but full of respect, fear and admiration. This might be connected to what Nisama had said to me few centuries ago. Then who is it? I asked coldly. She was named as Ultima Mishika. Her underling, the Vert Primordial now known as Mazari Midorita, is even stronger than me, he said. I didn't know that there will be someone stronger than you, I said. Oi. Didn't you know that your brother Veldonava was the third opponent that I can't win? Even though I scratched him. But the strength of those two fellow primordial demons are different. I couldn't even scratch them, not even once, he said with slight carefree voice. Then as who are tied, I'll acknowledge you as my equal, I said. Iyo, sure, but next time I'll win in our next fight, he smirked. I'll be ready anytime, I said. Flashback ends. Present. I'm really curious until now. Two named primordial demons. I wonder how strong they are. Wait. Then I realized something. There is no way. But before I could even finish my thoughts, a figure suddenly went into my sight. It was a small woman with slightly long purple hair that reaches just lower on her shoulders, tied with a ponytail that was placed on the left side. Her eyes were golden eyes and has a good body proportion. It seems this is my second time seeing you, but you first time seeing me, Velzard, said the girl. Just what is this aura? There are no hockey involved, but just her mere presence makes my instincts go wild. But I ignored that and fired some sharp ice against her. Of course it wouldn't work as it was easily dodged by her. Then she muttered, "Oh, you wanted a fight? I'll give you one." Then all of a sudden I felt pain for the first time in a while. It was a pain that was on my stomach area. As I looked down, horror, shock and fear came into me. Her mere fists broke through my defenses and managed to pierce though it easily as if it didn't exist. I then looked at her face, which was a very cold smile. As she retreats her hand, I coughed out some blood and I feel on my knees. I desperately tried to heal it immediately, but it won't work. I felt fear for my life for the first time. It was fear that I will die. I knew I could just resurrect in few hundred years. But my personality will be changed, only my memories will remain. Did your brother even taught you some manners? I'm quite disappointed. Maybe I should go and kill him permanently perhaps? She said as her smirk grew widely. And no. It was me. I tried to say that Ni-sama had taught me some manners and he warned me about you. But I didn't listen nor believed in him. No, it was me who was denial. I don't want to believe that someone is more stronger Ni-sama. I wouldn't think that it was the violet primordial who he was saying. Huh? I didn't hear you. Mind if you repeat that again? She said with her harsh and cold tone as she looks down on me. It was me. I ignored Ni-sama's warning. I forced myself to complete the sentence as I vomit some blood. Good, you acknowledge your own mistakes. Now, listen to me. I don't forgive someone quite easily, but since you admit, I'll heal you, she said as she healed me. Then the hole in my stomach was gone. I then stood up as I looked at her. Do you know why I came here? She asks. And no, I don't. Supreme One? Ultima Mishika? I said as I was confused on which one will I call her. Ultima is fine, and I guess that way of calling it from Veldora. So he did teach you something. Anyway, I want you to be mine, she said as she looks into my eyes. What's going on here? What does she mean by she wanting me? Also, what is this feeling in my chest? Why do I feel some heat? Am I getting sick? Is this the side effect of her healing magic on me? What do you mean by that? I stuttered. I was so unsure by what she means. I want you to be mine, serve under me from now on, she said. I see, she wants me to submit to her. Nonsense. But I have no choice, I have to lower my pride as a true dragon. I'll let Veldora handle Veldora when he rampages, then what about that redhead? No, not my problem. I then took a big breath as I slowly kneeled in front of her. I accept, Ultima-sama. I said. Good, then as a sign that you are under me, I'll grant you the last name Shimofuji, serve me well. As she said that, my body feels more hot than before. Then I can hear, the voice of the world, said that my magicules had increased and I will now be known as Veldora Shimofuji. After that, I lost my consciousness. **** present. I'm currently on the chairwoman's office relaxing. Weirdly, I'm reminiscing the time where Ultima and I first met. That redhead, now known as Guy Crimson, has the frozen continent. It won't melt as Ultima placed a spell where the coldness wouldn't disappear even for a millennia. As I was drinking my tea, there was a knock on the door. Come in, I said as she opens the door. I'm back, Veldora-sama, said Himeji as she closes the door and bows her head to me. Himeji Shirayuki, my maid and now secretary. She's also teaching the first year and second year students. Why? It has some purpose relates to Ultima's plan. Take your seat, I said to her. She nods as she took her seat. How was each classes of the first year so far for your first week? I asked. There are huge differences from Class 1A to Class 1D. As expected for Class 1A and also Class 1B. They behaved as a student should. Class 1C meanwhile some were using their phones, some were not listening into my discussion. Finally, for Class 1D. They're the worst, some students flirting with me, with most of them were using their phones. One sleeping in class and another talking to each other. Shirayuki reported her experience. I see, then I expect that Class D will receive 0 class points this upcoming May. As expected, they are such defects and a fool that think they will receive 100,000 private points monthly. Unless that student make his move. But say, Shirayuki, I said as I called her. Hi, Velzard-sama. She then looks at me. You've seen him, right? I asked as I smirked. Hi, so far he still decides to play as the fool, she answered. That has to be expected. Then there is Horikita Manabu's sister, I said. Horikita Suzune. She may be smart but her defect that she thinks isolation is her strength. She also has this superiority complex that looks down on her fellow classmates. I know Ayanokoji Kiyotaka will use her as his tool sometime soon to lead Class D in the shadows. Shirayuki said her observation. I doubt that, knowing Ultima as what she is currently doing right now. She wants Kiyotaka to show his true abilities. I can see that he believes that having a peaceful life is to be average on everything and also not to stand out, I said. Then there is this clown, Velzard-sama. Her name is Kushida Kikyu. She has two faces that no one knows. She is currently known as angelic, friendly, kind and truly beautiful, or at least that's what I heard most of her classmates describes her, said Shirayuki. Let that clown be, I'm sure Ultima has her plans. Then there is also Matsushita Chiaki, correct? What are your observations about her? I asked as I then drank my tea. Let's see, she's famous among the first years as she won second place along with Karuizawa Kei. As she said, she is extremely confident in her academics. Though originally she was planning on not showing her capabilities to her class, she said her observations. Speaking of Karuizawa Kei, she has her own history correct. Though no one knows it as of now, Ultima, Kion, Mazari, you, me, and Hiroto only knows this. She was bullied, assaulted, sexually harassed, and almost got raped, I said seriously. Hi, she currently had this persona to protect herself. She seems to be finding a host that will protect her. Karuizawa is like a parasite that will cling to anyone stronger. As of the current, she seems to be close to Hirata, the class leader of Class D, said Himeji. Then we talked more about the other students of Class D. As for Class C it was Ryuan, Albert, Ibuki, Hiyori and Nishino. For Class B, there was Ichinos, Kanzaki, Shiranami, Shibata, Minamikata and Himeno. As for Class A, we will predict on what will Ultima do. There is also Sakayanagi Arisu, the daughter of the vice chairman. Kion meanwhile was under our care from the very start. As for my identity, I'm the current head of the Shimofuji family who is directly under the Mishika family. My current life here is not that bad. I enjoy these quite much as I can read mangas, light novels. But there are certain limits to it. I also have powers within the Japanese government. So if that Professor Ayanokoji will make his move, it will not be easy as he will be against me if that happens. Even if he goes against Sakayanagi Narumori, he will be under our protection as he is the vice chairman. As Ultima said to me, this would be worthwhile and interesting at the same time. Now then, I will observe what will happen next very closely.